Showing you how to add extension on a Florida room. Half of this was closed in, the other half was screen. We've extended it about 9 feet roughly. As you can see, we've added in 3 windows. Couldn't get the old swing out pane windows, so we got the new style. We had to do some fabrication on the framework. We got some white toe kick flashing with the edge trim mitered. Screwed it in all the way around. We use this hard to see little gray putty tape. It's like 3/4 inch wide. They sell it for the windows. We also use it on the kick plate. And we put that all the way around the windows. These are mobile home style windows that already come pre-punched with the screw holes. Hard to see, but you can see the putty tape in there. You just apply it to the window frame and slap it in and screw it in. So this is the outside. Custom ordered windows, 2 bigger ones, one a little bit smaller. We had to stop it before the main beam because it had to clear a bathroom window, which you'll see in there in a second. So yeah, we added 9 feet of closed-in area, and they have about 10 by 10 screen room area. So we'll go on the inside here. You can see we're still working on this. We moved this whole wall over. The wall was over here, attached to the floor. They had a couple of screws locking it in to the main 3x3 post. Then they had it screwed into the ceiling, and unfortunately that's not a roof over. On this, the roof over stops here. It's insulated, and right there it's not. And they should have, when they did this, they should have roofed it over to the next panel, but they didn't, so those are exposed to the weather. So what I'm going to do, so I don't have to try to get up on the roof and seal it, I'm going to get rivets, and if I got to drill the hole a little bigger, make the rivets real tight and pop rivet into the holes. And then when they paint it to match the ceiling, because the ceiling's been painted, it'll all blend in, the rivets won't stick out much. So that's how we're going to do that. I'll scrape the caulking off and then put the rivets in, and that should be pretty much dried in. As long as the hole's tight, the rivets will expand in the hole and seal it. Seal all the little holes for the screws. And then they had electrical running through the wall, and it ran under under a threshold plate, and then it came over into this hole right here, and there was a Romex, and it went through the wall and fed outlets down the way. So what I did to remedy that issue is I had to get power back over here to feed that. I came from the source. They somehow ran the power feed under the mobile home, and it came out here. So I bought one of these boxes that works with the metal wire track mold. And you can see the track mold is up this way, so you can see it better. The track mold's clipped in. I got 4 clips, and for safety, because he was worried about the wire going under the threshold plate, maybe somebody getting electrocuted if water blows in on the screen room side, I put a GFCI here, which is off the floor a little bit, but this is the dried in area, so that won't get wet, and that feeds around. And just so happened to be the way the mobile is, this siding here kind of goes in, so that wire molding fit right in there and goes right in the gap behind the cover there. Loops in, feeds the first receptacle, comes down, and I got to put the threshold there. Comes out, goes over the other side. Comes out, goes through there, comes up to this box, which is these 2 receptacles. That one and that one were already where they were, so we can't get this old style toe kick anymore. It's kind of textured, and so we were reusing that. So the hole was already there, so I put new boxes where the outlets already were, brand new boxes, And these are standard, you can get at any home improvement store, and these are I think they're 2 1/8 deep, and they say 2 1/8, but it's not. It's not even really 2 inches. It's actually under 2 inches, because these posts are 2x2 aluminum, and it fits with a little space left over. A little bit, maybe an 1/8 inch or so. It looks like more on camera, but it's not. It's about an 1/8 inch or so. Yeah, I would call that about an 1/8. And then I just use self-tapping screws. Screwed it in top and bottom. They work great for this application. Then we had to get it through the corner there, feed it through. Came around over here. So these are all GFCI protected off that one GFCI. Feeding these. And keep in mind, I don't know what the requirement is, if 3 or 4 is the limit, but being that this was already, all these other receptacles down this way were already there, you know, we're kind of making do with what we have, what's already existing. So still safer than what it was. And it runs through and comes over here, and you can see the old wire feeding. You know, I had to fish it through here. I drilled another hole to give me room to fish it, and I fished it through out this side, brought it up. And when you do your ground, you want to twist your 2 grounds together, cut one back, so you maybe have 1 inch or 2 of wire twisted there, and get those green ones with the hole in the end, and you leave 1 wire long, 1 ground, slide it over it, twist it down tight, and now you got a good ground connection. And then your 1 ground goes over to your receptacle. That's how you should do it. And then you loop through with your 2 commons and your 2 hots, and we are ready. You want to leave enough wire where you can kind of fold it up and get it in there, but you want to leave, I usually leave 8 inches or so of wire sticking out. Give me enough room to work it. You don't want to cut them too short and then have a hard time getting them on the receptacle. You want to leave them like 8 inches long or so. That's how I do it. And this is 12 gauge wire, so you don't want to leave it too long. You'll have a hard time getting it in the box. But about 8 inches seems to be good. On 14 gauge you can go longer because it's more flexible, thinner, and you can stuff more in there. But you can see how the box fits. It's not touching the kick plate. There's a little bit of room back there. So, good to go. And that's how we do that. And what I did here, they call these Capri clips. I just cut my own out of 1x1 angle, aluminum angle, and just screw them in and screw them in. Because I know when these professional guys they fabricate a screen room, they run screws through and go in. There's screw grooves in the 2x2, which I'll show you later, and you can go through and screw into those. But I don't do this for a living, so it was easier to just put these. When we did these windows, we replaced that bottom track that's brown. Doesn't matter, this is all getting covered with toe kick on the inside too to finish it. So I just used what I had. I had some brown aluminum 1x2 patio. And they call it patio because it has the spline groove in it for screen. So I put that new piece down there. The old one was rotten. and then we put our 2x2 posts. I just started at this end, put my 1x2 patio here. Then the outside of the window frame overlaps that, so you really don't see it. It gets putty taped to it. And you got to remember to offset your screws, because when you put your window in, if these screws holding this 1x2 on are in the middle, you won't be able to get your window in, unless if you're trying to make a tight fit like I was trying to do. So I made sure to offset them so it screwed into the main post, and then the window slipped right in and didn't hit the screw heads. So that's how we did that. And then we put this one, kind of just set it in there because there's a channel up here. It's like a C channel. We slipped the post in and just set it on top of the bottom there. And then my buddy held the window up in place, held it up tight up into this corner. I got a couple of screws in, and then we pushed the post tight to it, and then ran a couple of screws in the post, And then I came back and tied in the post to the C-channel up there, 2 screws, and then down in the bottom with some capri clips. I capri clipped it on both sides, and because like I said, you don't see any of this. That's all getting covered with toe tick. Then I did the next post, the next window, then the next post and the next window, and then when that was all done, then I came back and cut these 3 supports underneath the window, and then my buddy held it up from the inside and I screwed it through the window on the outside, the frame, and that held it there. Then I came back after and put the capri clips in. So that's how I did it. Made it easier for me. So I'll give you some more pointers as I go along. Catch you later.